So what we're going to talk about tonight is sales pages and how the first 30 seconds of a visitor coming to your website is what counts, and how sales pages have changed over the years to make this first 30 seconds really crucial in determining the success of the landing pages and sales pages that you're using. Now, traditionally, we've all heard this before. It's been said that you only have 7 to 10 seconds to get a visitor's attention when they first visit your website. And that that's been proven to be a fact. You know, you really do just have just a few seconds to grab their attention to get them to stop and look at your web page, whether it be they found it through a search result or somebody recommended it through an email link or whatever, or Facebook post, or ever how they got to your website. You really just have just a few seconds to grab their attention. They make a decision really quick whether it's something they're interested in, whether they're going to continue reading the sales page that you have, or a landing page. Recently, one marketer I know of, and I've heard this in a couple of different places, has started quoting a Microsoft research thing saying that the average human attention span in 2012 was 12 seconds, but by 2013 it was only 8 seconds, which is what they claim to be 1 second shorter than a goldfish. Now, I don't know whether to believe that or not. That's all I've heard is they quoted as Microsoft research. But first off, I have to question how they know what a goldfish attention span is. I'm sure there's some sort of scientific method or something for determining that, what a goldfish is paying attention to, but I don't know whether to believe that or not. But over the years, copywriters and graphic designers have introduced major changes to sales page and landing page format and the presentation of the copy and the graphics that's on these pages. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, is some of these changes that we've seen over the years and how crucial this first 30 seconds is when somebody comes to your initial page. Sales pages have evolved from the simple catalog description type to having the bold headlines and subheadlines to video sales pages, and now the mobile responsive sales page format. Remember back in the I guess it was early 1990s, when internet first started becoming available to the public, anybody that was selling something online, it looked pretty much just like a catalog page, an item that was listed in a catalog, except it was a web page. They were pretty bland and boring, but it was something new. You had never seen anything like that on a computer screen. So it did fairly well for that time period. And then copywriters got involved with, now, they had a different medium to display advertisements and sales copy, altering it somewhat, and it changed several times over the years. And one of the most predominant ones, that you see now is, the bold headlines and the subheadlines, and then, the traditional storytelling or explaining the pain points or solution points of a sales page. That's what's been the norm for the years, for a long time. But over the last 3 to 5 years, a lot has changed in the way people browse the web, and things have changed a lot in sales pages and landing pages because of that. So here's a sample screenshot of just various types of sales pages, and you'll recognize, the formats of a lot of these. In fact, the fourth one to the left there on the very top row is your traditional sales page that we've all seen for years and years. And then as you skim down through these examples here, you'll see some of the more modern type involved here, especially like down on the third row, the fourth one over. That is more of a modern type sales page that we see nowadays. And then again, down here on the very bottom row, let's see, I guess it's the third one over. You can't hardly see it too well, but you see how they have a video there, and then the sales button code right there beside the video. So as you can see, just from this sample screenshot, I mean, this is just a small screenshot, how, there's various different types, and how they've changed over the years. And this is all due to, trying to get that attention of the person when they're visiting your page, trying to get them to stay on the page. So we've seen lots of changes evolve because of that. Now, the trend now is, instead of using, the fixed width pages like we've seen in some of the examples there on that previous slide, to having flexible designs with liquid designs and making it to where, they're more resizable and viewable on mobile devices. And you want these elements on these sales pages to look right on different browsers and also different screen resolutions. So this is the trend we're seeing nowadays, is for people to not make the traditional, static images that can't be resized, to have it to where, the sales page, depending on the resolution and even the browser type that they're using, can alter itself and to still display interesting format, to where it's going to grab the person's attention. But still, even with this, the headline and sometimes the header, which header graphics are getting less and less used now. Now you'll see more logos being used than header graphics, but there's still quite a few people still use header graphics. These are the first things that grabs the visitor's attention. It's the very first thing they're going to see, is either this headline or the graphic header that you've used. And what follows next, what the visitor can consume in less than 30 seconds, is what determines if they're going to stay on the page or not. And this is what we're going to talk about this next 30 seconds. So the traditional formula for a landing page or a sales page was, and for the most part still is, the AIDA format, which stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. We still pretty much follow this same formula, except that it's been altered somewhat, in that now it's not necessarily in this order, although these same 4 parts are still pretty much predominant in any kind of landing page or sales page that you go to now. Where we used to rely heavily on creating the interest by telling a story or relating to the pain or the trouble, now in more modern sales pages and landing pages, more emphasis is placed on the benefits and desires up front before the interest and the interest portion of the sales copy. And I'm going to show you some examples of those here. Here's an example of a product that's just launched here in the last week or so. And as you'll notice, the very top thing is, they have a headline, and then they lead right into bullet points of the benefits, and then right beside of it, a screenshot of the product box, the 3D image of a product box. You also see this same type format with a video, and it could be either, the video or the product shot on the right or left hand side, but you'll see this a lot, where they lead off with some sort of a headline, then they have either a screenshot of the product box or a video, and then bullet points listed right beside of it. And then they lead down into the rest of the sales copy. And here's another example of using just the headline to grab the attention, and then leading right straight into the benefits and results of the use of this product if you were to, get it and use it. And here's another one, and this one demonstrates the use of video. They still are using the headline to grab the attention to get the person to stop. Then they've got a video that plays, and then right directly below the video they start listing the benefits and the bullet points of what you can get from using their product. So as you can see from these 3 examples here, and this is common amongst most all the sales pages you see now, that they try to follow this same format. Now they start out with the headline to grab the attention to get the person to stop. Then they either jump right into some benefits and bullets, or they start out with some sort of little video and then go into the benefits and bullets. And then below that, they go into the rest of the sales copy. And again, it still follows, has those same 4 elements, the attention, interest, desire, and action. It's just that they're a little out of place now. They're placing more emphasis on the attention and the interest now and desire, as opposed to, to leading into the description of the problem and trying to solve the problem up front. So the question is does this work? And is it better than traditional long text and video sales pages that we've seen for years? Uh, there for a long time, the traditional long text was about the only type of sales page we've seen for a long time. And then people started switching to video sales pages, and they went over fairly well, but some people took it to the extremes and made their videos really long, so they kind of got kind of a bad rep. If all you went to on the sales page was a long video, it was really hard to get somebody's attention to get them to stay there, especially if you had the controls disabled or had it set to they couldn't stop the video. That really burned a lot of people in going to a video sales page. So traditional long text for the longest time, and for pretty much now still is the best converting sales page that there is. But again, just like I showed you in the previous 3 examples and then the screenshots of the multiple examples, the change up of the order of the elements on those pages has changed a lot. Even though they still can be considered traditional long text, the order of the elements has changed dramatically in the placement now to try to get people's attention right off the bat. Now, of course, this change, it does work, and if you answer truthfully, when you go visit a sales page or landing page or an opt-in page, now, do you actually read it, or do you skim through looking at the graphics and the bullet points first? If you're like most people, and myself included, you're going to first off, if the page gets your attention enough to stop and look at it, you're going to scroll down and look through the subheadlines and the bullet points first before you consider reading the rest of the page, see what's on it. So your first 30 seconds consists of the first 7 to 10 seconds is what you use to grab their attention. And again, most people still use a headline and sometimes a header graphic or a logo in conjunction with the headline. They still use that as the main stopping point to get people to stop and pay and take notice of the page where they want to stop and read it. But then the next 20 to 30 seconds is where you show the benefits of using the product that you're trying to sell them. And this is what you should concentrate now on when you're designing the order of your sales pages and landing pages now, is what follows right after the attention grabbing part, because you're still at this point even at that 7 to 10 seconds, you've got them to stop, but they're still not there for long. If you don't continue on holding their interest in some way, you will still lose. They will click off the website. So that's wherein most people now are starting to lead off with the benefits and the desires of what you can, results of what you can get from using whatever it is you're trying to sell. So if you can hold their attention for the first 30 seconds, it's been shown that you have a 40 to 60% chance of making the sale. The next 2 determining points after this 30 seconds is 1, the price point, and then any bonuses. If you can convince people to stay past that 30 seconds and continue to read some more copy on the page, and particularly what people go for next after they've read the bullet points and the benefits and the subheadlines, as they go next to the price point to see if it's something they can even afford. If they have met that, it is something they feel like they can afford. The next thing they're going to look for is bonuses, if you have any, to see if any of the bonuses you're offering might potentially be worth more than what the product is you're trying to sell. I know a lot of times I'll go to a sales page just to see what bonuses are being offered, because a lot of times, sometimes the bonuses are worth more to me than the product they're actually selling. So give it a shot with your next sales page. Instead of following the traditional AIDA format, give it a shot with your next sales page and start out with your bullet points and your benefits right up front, and try to get the people to stay on the page past that initial 30 seconds. If you can get them to stay past that first 30 seconds, you got a good shot at them being convinced, to purchase the product that you're trying to sell or opt into your list, whatever it might be you're trying to do, whatever the action you're after. So you want to create this attention grabbing headline and then lead off, like I said, with your benefits and your desired bullet points. And also, don't forget to make your sales pages mobile optimized, because smartphones and tablets are quickly replacing desktop computers. There was somebody from Dell last year that predicted that by the year 2020 you will have a hard time finding a desktop. They're going to be extremely hard to purchase after the year 2020. Now, laptops are still going to be around for quite a bit longer because they're still used in colleges and universities quite a bit because of their portability. But desktops are definitely on their way out. So you need to start making sure that all of your websites and web pages are mobile optimized and can have fluid designs that can resize to different screen resolutions and different browsers. So, pay attention to those when you're working on your next sales page, that you have a page that can be resized. And, a simple test of doing that is just to, especially on, well, just about any browser that you use, no matter what operating system it is, you can click the resize button and then just drag the corners of the browser around and just see how your page resizes. If it doesn't resize well and it makes you have to use scroll bars, then it's not going to be very well uh, optimized for smartphones and tablets. And one of the best tips I can give you for that is, instead of using the GIF and JPEG format, is start getting used to using the SVG and the PNG images. Those are more apt to resize and still look clear and attention grabbing on resizing to a smartphone or a tablet, as opposed to the GIF and JPEGs, which for the most part will not resize very well. In fact, most of the older GIF type images won't resize at all. They'll still display, but you have to scroll only the smartphone or tablet to get to see the whole image. The JPEGs try to accommodate that. They're still not as good as the SVG images and the PNG images.